All right. Welcome, everybody, to Business Geeks Podcast. I'm your host, Super Joe Pardo, and I am joined by two awesome co-hosts here. Sam, how are you making out down under from? And this is Samantha Riley from Samantha Riley Global.
I'm doing well. It's a crazy time in our world, isn't it? But I'm loving that we're all connected and that the business community and our local community are sticking together. So, we're making, it's positive in bad times. Well, I was trying to think of some really awesome quote, but no, nothing. I got nothing.
Are you self-quarantined at home yet? Is that a thing down there officially?
It is a thing, and it is officially. Well, it's not you have to stay inside, but it is like our children are still at school. Well, I mean, everyone's children, but most essentials are closed. It's just the groceries and the fuel that's open, pharmacies, that kind of thing. But everything else is closed apart from schools. I don't know how that's a thing, but it's a thing.
That seems like a big gamble to me, given how we closed our schools so rapidly.
Well, if you're talking about anyone that's not able to socially isolate, like let's talk about children that put their fingers in all sorts of crazy places, and then
and teachers that got to do it,
exactly.
The janitors, and so that's crazy.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, hopefully it works out well for you down there. And sorry, my coughing is acting up. My other co-host here, Jennifer Crawford from Sparent.co. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay, Joe. I'm kind of in Sam's camp where there's a lot of, sadness and incredibly challenging times happening right now, but I'm focusing on all the positives that I'm seeing both in the small business community and beyond. I've seen tremendous gestures of generosity. I've seen heroism in grocery store clerks and, of course, our healthcare professionals on the front lines. Like, you're really seeing the goodness of people right now. I think times like this bring out the best in people, and it sort of, in a strange way, restores hope. So, and I'm also kind of up for the challenge. I want to see businesses survive and thrive in this environment if at all possible. And I think our best chance of that is by banding together and being supportive of each other. And I've seen a lot of that spirit abound. So hopefully I can play a small part in that, fostering that environment.
No, I and you are. I mean, you started up the was it Small Business versus the Pandemic?
Yeah, we have a Facebook group, Small Business Owners versus the Pandemic. We're not going to go down without a fight.
that is true. And I just want to say real quick, what's up, Lou? And yeah, if you want, Jen, put the link in the comments.
Okay.
So we can get people to join.
I'll try.
All right. Well, trying is the best that we could ask for. This week, I mean, it's been crazy. Like, I just heard that one of my local pizza shops that have been there since I've lived here, probably longer than that, I've lived here since like 92. They just closed down, I guess, because they weren't getting enough support, enough people ordering pizzas and stuff. Though I will say, like, both me and my wife Melissa had been kind of hesitant to order food, not because of the packaging. Like, we know how to wipe things down, right? Like, you have plenty of wipes and things, but what if somebody like coughs on it or talks over your pizza or something? So what we did, and I don't even know if it did anything, but we took the pizzas out of the box, put them in the oven for 10 minutes at like 350 degrees. And I was like, there's no way that anything's surviving for 10 minutes in 350 degrees.
Mm.
I hope. Like, you know, and if not, hopefully there wasn't anything to begin with, but we don't know. And so it's a difficult time for a lot of businesses. And that's why tonight, while we didn't want to necessarily continue the coronavirus talk, the COVID-19 talk, we did want to at least come up with an idea that didn't sound completely tone deaf in the face of the craziness that's going on, instead of just like, oh, they're going to talk about social media tonight. We're going to talk about how to identify opportunities in the face of crisis.
Absolutely, because and we're not saying that there's not crazy things happening, but I think it's really important to focus on the opportunities and whether or not we thrive, but at least survive. And it's actually our responsibility to serve our community. It doesn't help anyone by business, you know, going bust. So that's what we want to talk about today.
Yeah, I think it's a great topic. And I think we touched on this last week too, that, you know, we do our best by service, by staying in business, employing people, keeping money into the economy, because there are sectors that obviously are just devastated, annihilated right now. Mm-hmm. So if you are in a business that is able to survive at this time, then you want it to be as healthy as possible, so you can put as much of that, you know, that money into the economy and provide more jobs and opportunities for other people. So I think, it's hard, because as positive as we are, and as I'm like, yes, like fight for your business, there's also just a reality that some businesses aren't going to make it, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean the end. You know, you can still reinvent and, you know, start another business, regroup. You know, that it's not necessarily the end period. But yeah, so that's the topic.
And I agree, Jennifer. I was just chatting to one of my clients only about an hour ago, and she's in an industry that has been annihilated. So rather than focus on the business that just cannot survive in this time, it's what can we do to create something new. So for some people, it's innovating what they've already got. For some people, it's okay, let's hit the ground running and start with something else that is relevant to people right now. And I love it that she's open to it and she's ready to hit the ground running, especially, you know, how hard would that be, just knowing that your business is just finished up overnight?
Devastating.
It would be. There's a local pizza shop here down in Vineland that Melissa went to school with the owner, and one of the things that they were doing to pivot was instead of buying the pizza pre-made, like, you're buying the ingredients and making it at home. And so like it's giving you something to do, especially if you're, you know, not constantly cooking at home as a thing that you normally would do, but it's just another opportunity to market and put your name in front and be like, hey, you know, I mean, that's we were like, hey, we should do a movie night with the kids. So that's how we ended up ordering pizza. And Melissa's like, well, we should have did this for like Ava's birthday, because she wanted pizza, and we were like, no, we're not ordering any, like, not doing it. But you know, it just coming up with ways to, like Lou's saying, hashtag reinvent, hashtag regroup, and hashtag revive in the chat here.
I think that's a great example, Joe, because I think ultimately you have to start with the question, what do your clients need and how can you provide it? And then beyond that, what do they need now that they didn't need pre-pandemic? Because people's lives have changed. So that pizza shop is a great example, because pre-pandemic, people didn't want to make their own pizza. Like, losers, we're not cooking for ourselves. But now we're at home, we're with our families, we need things to do together. You know, cooking together all of a sudden in this, and it can be communication, it could be services, it could be products, it could be your expertise or guidance, it could be flexible payments. Like, what is it in today that they need? Start there, and I think you'll start seeing some opportunities.
Absolutely. Can I just share my local co-working space that I go to? Obviously, can't do that now. And they've got really amazing sit-down, stand-up desks, ergonomic chairs. They've got computers and all of the tech equipment. And they sent out an email yesterday saying that you can hire the full setup for less than $40 a week. So for anyone that's suddenly working from home and they don't want to, buy the desk or have access to a really good desk, now they will deliver that a full setup to you for free to be able to hire this for as long as it needs, and then they will come and collect it again. And I thought that was super clever.
That is so brilliant, because people that are working from home don't necessarily have their offices set up ideally. Like for those of us who've, worked on, virtually and have online businesses, we've had all this time to set up our offices, pick out our perfect chair, make sure our environment is ideal for productivity. But people that are just all of a sudden thrown into it, they haven't had a time to set it all up or shop. And now they can't really even go out and shop. So I think I'm so glad you brought that up. That's so smart. I love it.
So good. I love that. Hashtag office by delivery. Lou, I love your hashtags.
He is out of control with the hashtags.
The hashtag master.
He's the hashtagger. He's the hashtagger. Oh my gosh. So Sam, what are you seeing with your clients, and what sort of framework do you use to sort of guide your pivots or your offerings, or how do you guide your clients so they can weather the storm?
I think the biggest thing, and this is where our hashtag in our Facebook group for our clients, everything is hashtag be relevant. So every single thing we're talking about, the question is that relevant right now? Is that appropriate right now? So the three different areas that we're talking about in our groups is marketing, sales, and delivery, because obviously there are three things that are confusing people at the moment. Marketing that is, and I don't know, have you guys had some emails in your inbox that are completely not paying attention to exactly what we're going on about? Like, what did you say at the beginning, Joe, of the show? Like, we don't want to
be tone deaf to the fact that like things are going on, and we were talking just before this, so everyone knows, like, we're trying to find a balance too, because we like to keep it light and entertaining, but at the same time, it's a pretty serious topic depending on where in the spectrum of the topic we are.
So the people that I've seen that have been tone deaf with their marketing, I think that what you're seeing is two things. Either they're being completely ignored because it's not relevant right now, or you're just hurting your brand because the trust is just dissipated instantly, where you're like, that actually was inappropriate, or I really didn't appreciate that. So I think right now in the sphere of marketing, like, there's a whole heap of things, and I think we're going to talk about them today, that I'm talking about with my clients. And it's similar with sales as well. We have to be relevant. So you need to make sure that whatever you're selling right now is a need to have, because we're in not good economic times. So anything that's just a nice to have is going to be, not, people don't want it. People are buckling down and making sure that they can just survive. So that's the second area. And the third area that we're talking about is delivery, because obviously in-person delivery is not a thing right now. So it's how can we pivot and make sure that our business is operating virtually. So they're the three areas that we're talking about. But how about you guys?
Yeah, I love what you said about the marketing, because I'm getting so many emails from various businesses and companies. Some I haven't done business with in years, but all of a sudden I'm getting an email, and it's always, it's COVID-19 related. And I'd say the biggest misstep I saw in terms of poor communication was actually from my gym that I love. They were very slow to close and very stingy with any sort of updates or information. And when they finally sent something out, the email was like, to find out what we're doing for to handle the COVID-19 crisis, please go to our app. And I was like, why didn't you just tell me in the email? So then I went to the app and the information wasn't there.
Of course
and
not.
Right. And I was like, there was no information. I was like, this is so frustrating. And they eventually closed, but I was like, what a misstep. Like I think good communication like solves so many problems, like personal, professional, interpersonal. And just to see them, and they're a big company. It's like a chain of, gyms. They're pretty big. And to see them make a huge misstep like that, I was actually pretty shocked and disappointed.
That comes down to poor leadership.
Yeah.
That's even above communication. That's the leadership. And, and this is the time that we need to step up as leaders and do things that feel uncomfortable to make sure that people are looked after.
I think it's also difficult in the smaller. I don't know how big is the gym that you go to, Jen? Is it like big, like not the size of it, but like the company size? Like, are we talking like LA Fitness or like?
Yeah, I mean it's up there. They're in most states. So.
Oh wow! So like, I think that, but even on that size, like you're trying to navigate through like, are we able to stay open? What's the actual information? And depending on when you were talking about, if you were talking about like a week and a half ago, the amount of information that was contradicting about whether or not what we should be doing, shouldn't be doing, we don't like, was just, it was overwhelming. And like, nobody wants to be the person that's like, yeah, we shut down too early. And we created a vacuum of for our revenue stream, like vacuumed it all up like too early, too soon. I mean, you see that with Disney. We were in Disney, and I get text messages saying, "Hey, they're closing Disney," and I'm like, I'm literally on a ride right now, and I'm like, there's no information yet about like the exact anything. And like 20 minutes later, I'm talking to a cast member, like, "Oh yeah, we already know all about that. We're closing on Sunday." Like, and it's like, but Disney probably could have closed the week before, and
Yeah, and I'm talking less about
it's tough.
And I agree. Like we have to have a lot of like forgiveness during this time because we're, it's new. Everyone's doing the best they can for the most part. But I think with me, it wasn't so much the decision. It was more just I'm okay if they're like, you know what, we're paying attention. Here's the deal. We're paying attention. We're following the CDC guidelines. Here's the link to what we're using as our source to make these decisions. We're navigating it day by day. Like even if it wasn't a decision, I mean, I'm all about decisiveness. I would rather them, make a quick decision than a slow one. But at the same time, my criticism was more just the lack of communication. And then when there finally was communication, it didn't work. There was no communication because they fumbled that ball so badly. So, but I understand what you're saying, Joe. It's like, hey, these businesses are trying to figure it out, trying to keep their customers and their staff safe while also hopefully keeping their businesses running as long as possible.
It's a super tough time, right?
So
because so much going on, and people are worried and thinking like there's no SOPs, there's no standard operating procedures for this. Like I did not think I'd ever see anything like this in my lifetime. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just like, I never thought that I would see something like this. So,
I mean, I did. I mean, from bird flu back in like 2005, like I remember having like the lunches and stuff at the, with all of our key personnel and being like, hey, this is a real thing. And like, this is like really happening. And like, if this jumps from bird to human, like we are totally screwed. Like this is going to be a disaster on a global scale because it was killing massive amounts of birds, like just indiscriminately. So yeah, no, I totally did, but not to the level that like I super prepared or anything like that.
Well, yeah, that was my next question.
Plan.
Yeah,
no, but like in the back and somewhat in the front of my mind, it's always potentially been a thing. It just it was it was always a matter of when, not if. But how much money can you invest in a when? Like when could be 150 years from now. Like it won't matter to me. Like, good luck, Ava. Like good luck, Ava's kid. Good luck, Dom's kid. Not me.
Absolutely. So I think that there's some opportunities that I've identified in the marketing and the sales and the delivery. Should we start to talk about the opportunities that people have?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so.
Yeah, so I think with we talked about the marketing, if you don't get this right, that you can hurt your brand. On the opposite side, I think that if we do our marketing well, that we will actually build trust faster than ever before, and we will build influence and a following faster than ever before, because people are looking for that leadership. So I think that if you can get these things right in your marketing, or get your marketing right, that people will really follow. And I think the first thing that I would say is to create more than you consume, because you can go down a very deep, dark rabbit hole by consuming a lot of, negative news stories, or, Facebook at the moment. And whilst we want to be educated and know what's going on, we don't want to be just consuming all the negative things. So start to create more, and really make sure that what you do create is positioning you as the expert, positioning you as the authority, creating valuable content that's relevant to people right now.
I think that's great advice. And I have been super guilty of getting caught into, like, getting sucked into the media. And like, I realized last week, I think I spent literally all day distracted by breaking news and stories, and I could not stop looking. And I realized literally, like, I think like 8 hours went by. I'm not even joking. I'm just being completely honest. And I realized, oh my gosh, like, all this stuff has come off my schedule, like, networking, in-person networking events and conferences. And I thought I was going to have all this time, and I was going to take advantage of that time to be more productive. And here I am, I'm getting sucked into this vortex of news. So I've just had to like turn it off, turn it all off so I could focus. And then, I mean, it was hard. I felt a little anxiety, because I felt like the news is coming so fast, like every hour, half hour, it seems like something important is being broken. And, but it was the only way, it was the only way for at least me to be productive. I couldn't have that Facebook scroll going on my phone while I'm on my computer working. I just wasn't healthy.
Figure out what the new normal looks like, and because it's all so new and it's all so happening, like you said, so rapid, and you want to be informed, because you're like, well, is my city going to shut down? Like, am I not going to be able to go get food if I wait too long? Like, nothing like this has ever really happened, like hashtag unprecedented, like Lou said. And the thing is, like, we don't know what to expect, right? Like, when I was in Florida, didn't know if I was gonna be able to get across state lines by come Saturday afternoon. Like, I don't know, like, who knew what was going on? So when bringing it back to business and staying focused, and trying to find ways to bring people together. I mean, like, I started up a virtual conference, started on Thursday, and it's going to happen this Saturday and Sunday. It was only supposed to be one day, and now it's 2 days, and with over like 40 plus speakers. So these types of things where it's like you're bringing people in, and we're bringing sponsors on board, so we're making money, and connecting people, and hopefully bringing some new podcasters into the fold, as potential clients, as potential community members, and things of that nature.
That's a great example of creating more than you're consuming.
Well, I was consuming a lot of news over the last.
Well, you got that done. I was surprised how quickly you put that together, because I'm working with a strategic partner to put together a virtual summit, and it's going slow. Like, I can't just throw something up. I'm just not quick. Maybe it's because I'm being sucked into the media too much. But but I love that, create more than you consume. It's such good advice, not just for now, but really anytime. So I know, Sam, that you say don't ignore the obvious in your marketing. Like, what do you exactly do you mean by that?
Exactly what Joe was talking about at the beginning of the show. Don't turn a blind eye to how people are feeling, what they're going through, like really what's happening in the world. Because if you ignore it, people will ignore you. They'll just think, oh, you don't get it. And I think that that's really important, to not be sucked into it, but at the same time, we have to respect that people are going through these times, that they may not feel comfortable. These times are really uncertain. So really pay attention to that and let people know we empathize. We know how you feel. This is what we're all going through, but don't ignore it. Don't ignore it.
Speaking of not ignoring, I came across some information today. And it was a study that somebody shared in the small business owners versus the pandemic group. And it was a study that some think tank put together, asking like 1,000 people in various countries, including the US, different questions in terms of how they're reacting and how their lives have changed in response to the pandemic. And one of the questions they asked was, do you expect the businesses that you do business with to give you stuff for free, like whatever it is, like give you something for free? And it was a large percentage of people that felt strongly or, fairly strongly about that. I want to say it was, I don't have the study up, but I want to say it was about 70% of consumers were expecting businesses to give some sort of services or products for free. Didn't necessarily mean they were expecting everything for free, but they were expecting some sort of compassionate, pricing or compassionate giving during this time. So I couldn't ignore that because I know I'm all like, hey, we've got to keep our businesses healthy. We need to put something valuable in there. Find your clients. Don't assume people don't have money. Don't make that decision for them. It serves the community to keep these businesses thriving. Yet 70% of the people are saying they want something for free. So it doesn't have to be an either or scenario, right? We tend to like go there, like it's either or, but it's really an and situation, right? I think you can put something out there that is a gift to people that are in your audience that might not be in a position to purchase, but also definitely don't give it all away for free.
Yeah, and that is definitely super relevant right now, Jen, because there's a lot of people saying, how do we do this? Yeah. And I ran a 2-day virtual intensive for my clients on the weekend, and one of the presenters, Gary Edwards, and I want to give him a shout out because as we were going through it, he said it's almost like right now we have a cheap sort of a normal price, and then we have an expensive if we're putting our packages together. And we do that because most people will take the one in the middle and some people will take the upsell. But he said it's like right now, it's almost like we've got the free, the cheap, and the normal. And I thought that was really clever. And I think that's clever. Yeah, I think that's where we need to position ourselves right now, that free, cheap. He said maybe they're a $20,000 a month package if your audience can't afford it. We have to be very aware.
Agreed.
I wanted to ask, what do you think it would normally be if the pandemic wasn't happening, Jen? So in my mind, I'm thinking that instead of 70%, I'm thinking like 40 to maybe 30 to 50%, but probably like 40 to 50% of people would think that we should be giving away free things anyway. So
I think it would be
higher.
Lower. I think it would be lower.
Really?
I do. I think it'd be because I don't expect to get anything free from businesses that I do business with.
Yeah, I mean, I know you wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'm sure Sam wouldn't. Right?
No, I'd be thinking it was lower than 40% as well. I would have been thinking a lot lower. But I don't know.
I don't know. I think 30 would be the lowest. I think there's a good chunk of people out there that still think everything should be. Come on, there's clients that we don't work with for reasons.
Well, it's interesting because so I'll give a personal example of something that I witnessed in terms of people wanting something for free. So I've been on and off Weight Watchers forever. I don't have a problem telling you that. So with Weight Watchers, you pay a monthly fee, and you can go to in-person meetings. It also includes the app. So a lot of people never go to the meetings. You can do everything you need to do on the app. Well, in light of this coronavirus situation, they've moved all their in-person meetings to virtual. So really you're not missing any services. Like you're getting like the app, you're getting, virtual guidance, the blog, everything is pretty much still there. And in the group that I belong to, people were throwing a fit saying that Weight Watchers should just give everything away for free because everybody is, everybody's going through a hard time. And it wasn't even really because their in-person classes were canceled. They just felt like they should give them free services because of the time that we were in. And I'm thinking, as a business owner, I'm thinking, but Weight Watchers is a huge company that employs a lot of people, and I don't want them going out of business.
Exactly.
So yeah, I was like, oh, this is interesting, but it gave me a little peek into this psyche that was represented on this study. And, I'm not going to fight to change people's minds and educate them on the economy and economics and how things work. I just need to adjust my offerings and make sure that my business is sort of relevant to the environment that we're in right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
Give it. No, I'm with you, Jen. That makes no sense. Like if those companies are giving that stuff away and they go bust, then not only everyone loses. Everyone loses.
Everyone.
That makes no sense. Yeah.
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 But
not cool.
Yeah.
Where I think that our opportunity is here is not to discount our prices, but maybe give more value than you normally give. So one of my group programs includes 2 group calls, like training calls per month. So what I've done is said that we will do them weekly to make sure that everyone's moving forward. So, I'm adding value by giving them extra. Where they normally don't get one-on-one coaching, they're able to reach out and ask questions all the time. So what I'm doing is, rather than making my products, cheaper, I'm just adding so much more value to make sure that my clients succeed through these times, or have the best chance of success through these times.
I think that's a great stance, because they are going to need that extra to carry them through. So no, that makes a lot of sense. Now, to go to your well, let's see, like delivery, right? That was one of the other things. And what would you think is the best opportunity to spin this in a positive direction of like, hey, we're not going to get to meet in person like we probably would if I'm only taking clients, say, in an area, specific area, like say I'm like a chiropractor or something that's like non-essential but essential to the people who need it, but yet we don't want to have these physical connections.
I think that it's about thinking outside the box of what else you can offer. So for something like a chiropractor, obviously they can't do in-person adjustments, but they're still going to have a clientele that is going through this. So what can you offer differently? Like really think outside the box. Because it's not just about catching up on a Zoom and chatting to them. What is it that they could do at home? Can they go on a Zoom and you give them specific exercises to relieve some sort of pain? So start to think, okay, not just pick up an in-person and make it virtual, but put a spin on it so that it can be a different delivery that possibly achieves some sort of similar goal or outcome.
And there's probably some products in there too. I was reading that, who was it? Acupuncturists, they're kind of like chiropractors, right? You have to be in person to get your needling done. But apparently the demand for Chinese herbs and medicinals has skyrocketed in this pandemic world, because people are looking for natural ways to heal and stay healthy and boost their immune systems and keep their bodies balanced. So acupuncturists were turning to those medicinal herbs and selling them online and compensating for that loss of appointment dollars. So I think probably with chiropractors, they could do the same thing with massage bombs and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I know hairstylists are doing hair color kits. So their clients, because they have their custom colors and everything for all their clients, so they can package the little kit up so they can at least do their roots in between like hair appointments, because it might be a while before we all have our hair appointments. You're going to know my true hair color in no time. So I was like, I would totally buy that from my hairdresser. I would totally buy a hair color kit. And then if they also had a video where they kind of like walked you through like the best way to apply it, even better. Yeah, I've been trying to think really creative about these problems. I have some friends who have businesses that have sort of high ticket items, like say like a travel package or like a brand photography package, that sort of thing. And I was thinking, you know, I wonder if it would make sense for them to almost subscriptionize it, for lack of a better term. Another thing you could say is kind of like a layaway, where you pay over time, you get added value in the term, in the form of, maybe some brand advice or travel advice,
some bonuses, some sort of bonus.
And then you also, what I love about that is you also have something to look forward to. Like, I don't know about you, but I am dreaming of the day that I can travel again, or that I can go to a restaurant, or that I can get out and like, out in the public again. Like I love having something to look forward to, like on a typical day, but during these times, like if you could spread out those payments for your dream vacation so that when this is all over, you're just ready to go. I don't know. I just think you have to think of everything, not just how to repackage, but also how to reprice.
Absolutely.
Not discount, just restructure. And also give yourself some recurring revenue during this time. Instead of waiting a year for revenue, if you subscriptionize, I'm just making that word up, by the way.
I know.
That's okay. Lose on top of it.
It's not a real word. Subscriptionize.
It's now hashtagable.
Not a real word. I realize that. They can, potentially have some reoccurring steady revenue during this time. So I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
No, but it's super relevant. See, hashtag be relevant, Jen.
Yeah. That's the world we live in.
Yeah, exactly.
Word.
Yeah.
It's a real word now. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, what else? What else we got here? Oh, you know what? You made a good point. By the way, guys, Samantha provided some PDFs that we're using as a guide for our conversation. But she, in this delivery portion of the PDF, Sam, you mentioned that virtual is not the same as in person.
No.
And I think that's a great point. As much as I love virtual, like it doesn't translate, all the time very well.
Absolutely. So you can't just, if you're running a live in-person event, if you jumped on a Zoom call and just did a normal Zoom meeting, it's not going to transfer over. So you need to really brainstorm what are all of the things that happen at whatever in-person thing that we're doing. So let's take an event, for example. There's music in the breaks. There's lots of conversations over coffee, at lunch, in the hallway. There's usually some great conversations in the bar after the conference. There's breakout rooms. There's all of these sorts of things. So how can you provide the same experience virtually? So not just jumping on a Zoom meeting, the same experience. And I ran my first virtual 2-day intensive last weekend. So super fast to market with that. Very tired still from doing that. My brain is fried, but we pulled it off. Our clients were absolutely astounded. They're just like, we did not think that was going to feel the same, but it did. We still had the music in the breaks. We still had the breakout rooms. We still had the conversations in the breaks. We didn't leave the meeting. We just put the music on and everyone still, came and had the casual conversations. And at the end of the conference, exactly like normal, we'd say, safe travels home. I just changed it to safe travels back to your kitchen. And for those who want to stay and, have the conversations in the bar, meet us back in 5 minutes with a glass of wine or a beer. And we ended up staying on and having great conversations for 2 hours after we finished. So really, we tried to get that experience and bring it into the virtual world. And in actual fact, Jen, you'll love this. My introverted friends said that was the best conference we've ever been to.
Oh, I bet. Oh, I was trying to look up. I have to give props to a friend of mine, Lisa Shapiro. She runs a networking group, a very robust and awesome networking group called the DC Fempreneur. And I'm a member of that. And she has been working really hard to keep the community as active as it was offline, online. And she found this platform which acted as a virtual co-working space, complete with like a lobby and a kitchen and rooms, and you can close the doors and you can be available like through voice or audio, and you can there's a meeting room, so you can like have a meeting, you can share files. I was looking, I think it's a new platform, so I can't remember the name, but she did a demo of it and it is really slick. Like, it's really cool. I was like, this is actually kind of fun. I was kind of like skeptical about it, to be honest with you. But then when she demoed it, I was like, this actually is really cool. It actually functions like a real life co-working space. And you get the top down view of the schematic of the co-working space. Anyway, I'll try to find that link for the show notes, but
that's super cool.
Isn't that
That's
cool?
awesome.
Yeah. Nice.
So did you have anything else you wanted before we wrapped up and moved to the next segment there, Sam?
I think that, there is one thing I want to leave people with, is that this is not the time to hide. This is the time to 10x your visibility and your brand. Mm-hmm. It's the time to show up even more. It's the time to get the things done in your business that you've been putting off for a long time. It's the time to really get clear on your messaging. It's the time to really get very clear on your branding and take it to the next level. So 10x your visibility. It's that time.
That's good advice. Even if it feels uncomfortable, it's good advice.
And it definitely can feel uncomfortable because of the circumstances and coming up with things that like people would need or could need in a time where they're not even, people aren't even really sure themselves yet what they need.
Yeah. And, I think that it's really important to realize that we're all in the same boat, that we're all in the same world. None of us are certain. None of us know what's going on. We're all making it up as we go along. So we could all just show up together.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Raphael wanted to know if what I was talking about was called Hey Summit. No, although I've come across Hey Summit recently that I'm looking at for the virtual summit we're putting on. So it wasn't Hey Summit. It was something else. I'll find it eventually. Yeah, that's a great point to end with. 10x it, people.
Did we have time to talk about the one piece of news, since we love to talk about Marriott so much?
Yeah, I mean,
oh my goodness, I haven't even seen what you put up. I'm going to be on the fly.
I know, I haven't seen it either. I'm opening it up right now. In fact,
oh my goodness, when did this go into the spreadsheet, people?
I put it in kind of late in the game. I came across it earlier in the week, and I put it in my Pocket app to save, because I was like, Marriott is a big enough company. They're always in the news. And for some reason, since episode 1, we've always had it seems like almost every episode, we have some Marriott news that is relevant to our discussion. In this case, I think this story is relevant in terms of being a leader, showing leadership. So this, I came across this in Yahoo Finance. Marriott CEO has decided to not take a salary in light of what's going on and with the COVID-19 crisis, and he has cut his executive team's pay by 50%. And I know the skeptical among us will be like, well, sure, he's not taking a salary because he's so rich and he could probably not take a salary for a long time. But I don't think that's the point. I think the point is, setting an example you know, and showing leadership within his company, knowing that the people that work for him are all of a sudden out of work. And how would it look? How would the optics look if he was still making his whatever he makes? I don't know his salary. I haven't read all the details of the article, just got the gist of it. But because we seem to be a Marriott news source, I wanted to include that. And I've seen other examples of billionaires showing leadership, which has been nice.
That I think that is a great example. I mean, he's still got his stock options and stuff, and obviously the stock's not going to go to zero.
I actually think that's irrelevant, what he has or doesn't have. I think that is actually irrelevant. I think what is relevant is that he's stepped up and been a leader and and proven that he's there for his company and shown his employees that it's important to him that they all survive. And I think that is the relevant piece. I don't think it matters. Yeah,
I think so
I think
too.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. No, I taking zero, I think, is great. I mean, there's been plenty of CEOs that have taken $1, but again, it's also because they're getting stock options, they're getting some form of money in another way. But yeah, in this case, it is good, and I think it's great to be a great leader. Speaking of leaders, though, it was, when Bob Iger quit just like 2 weeks ago, it was like, whoa, what's going on? Like, I mean, obviously he knew what was going on because he's like, I'm 69 years old and I'm done. It's like, and this is the end of me.
Yeah.
I'll just stay on the board for now.
And have you seen the list of CEOs globally, like the really big CEOs that have stepped down?
Yeah, a lot. There have been a lot. Pretty interesting times.
It is interesting times.
It is.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. Let's just end with, I think that is fantastic leadership, and I take my hat off to him.
Absolutely.
Me too. I'll take it.
You can take it with your grind my gears.
Oh my gosh. I'm so okay. This week, I'm really happy to have time for grind my gears because I've been dying to vent about this, and I hope it's not controversial like some of my other grind your gears. Okay. And I don't want you to pull this up, Joe, okay? Because that's the point of my rant. I don't want you to pull up this video, okay? Do not search for it.
I'm not going to.
Have you guys seen the video that's going around of the group Zoom where a girl by the name of Jennifer forgets like that she's in a Zoom. She keeps her camera on and she uses the bathroom during the call.
No, I have not.
I have not.
Okay. Here's what just ticks me off and grinds my gears is that it's bad etiquette to share that video and humiliate Jennifer even further. Because honestly, like we could all be that person. Like it's just rude. It's bad manners. It's bad etiquette. Like I think sometimes we feel like the way we conduct ourselves online is different than the way we can, it can be different than the way we conduct ourselves in person. But I feel like it's so mean-spirited to share something like that when somebody's obviously just had a bad day, and we've all been there. In fact, I will confess, last week, I was Jennifer last week. I mean, I was this Jennifer in the Zoom call last week, and I will just tell it right like it is. So we had a tree taken down in our backyard last week. And the bathroom in our master bedroom is on the back side of the house. And we have a fairly good sized lot. So we don't have like blinds or curtains because we don't really have like neighbors that can see in. So we've never really put them up or worried about it. And I knew the men were in the backyard, putting down the tree, but I just went into the bathroom like it was any other day and did my thing. And I realized, oh my God, there are men in my backyard watching me go to the bathroom. I was Jennifer, but nobody shared that around the internet because these guys were so busy taking down the tree. They weren't videotaping me. Thank God. Thank God. Nobody needs to see that. But I was like, I was Jennifer. One time I was preoccupied and I was like in a clothing store and I wanted to try on a pair of pants, and instead of going into the dressing room, I just started taking off my pants, like to put them on.
What?
Like I was preoccupied. I was thinking about something else, and nobody saw me. Like I caught myself like mid change. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? But I mean, we're all Jennifer on the Zoom call going to the bathroom. Okay. Like, please, like if somebody does something like that, like don't share it. I mean, it's got like a gazillion, like 1 million views now. People have seen poor Jennifer.
Oh,
and
no.
I just think it's mean-spirited. Like, just be nice. Be nice.
Oh,
like,
Jen.
I don't even like it when children are represented in like memes and GIFs, like because they've done something, like made a weird face or something. I don't even like that. Like, I don't like that at all. Like, be nice. Be nice.
Jen, this is my favorite Grind My Gears ever.
Is it?
And it is, because this is something that's really important to me. We're all human.
Yeah.
And right. And just empathy, people. Empathy.
Empathy. Why would you share that? Why would you share that? And like, I've come across it so many times. I'm like, it's funny. I get it. It's funny, but it's so mean-spirited. I mean, gosh, poor Jennifer. I just want that. I just want to give her a hug, but I can't because we're in a pandemic. Damn it.
Jennifer, a virtual hug. Brent, stop it. Brent said, no, Brent, stop it.
I'm only talking.
Sharing here only gets more views. That is
Brent,
true,
I'm in a sticky wicket. Okay. Like I had to grind my gears. I told Joe not to share the video.
I'm not sharing the video.
I know, but I'm doing what I can.
So she was using the phone, obviously, right? Or like, was the bathroom right behind? Like,
I think she had like a laptop that she like carried into the bathroom. Like Jen was just going about her day. Like she probably was in one of those conference calls where you don't have to talk for like 3 hours. You don't even really need to be there. And so she was just like, but they probably had, in Zoom, you could put like the attention tracker on there. So God forbid Jen goes to the bathroom and they know she's not watching the Zoom. Like maybe that was the situation. Like,
oh, poor Jen.
Poor Jen. Just the fact that her name is Jennifer, I felt like an extra sympathy for her. Thanks,
that's
Brent.
terrible.
I know.
So you said, like, is that part of the bad online etiquette? Because I was thinking that Jennifer was the one with the bad online etiquette, not realizing like where I'm at. It's like the old person with the smartphone, and you FaceTime them and they're like holding it up to their ear and you're like, I can't see you, pull it away. Or they put it on speakerphone and they're like holding it up to their ear so everybody knows what's going on. Like,
that's not so much etiquette as just not knowing any better.
Yeah. Okay. So with that said, okay, here you go.
Okay.
You know what grinds my gears? That it takes 1.5 minutes for me to be able to leave a voicemail message on, because I got to listen not only to your voice, but then the automated voice right after to tell me how to leave a voicemail message. And it's only been like 20 plus years of cell phones. So why? Who doesn't know how to leave a voicemail message at this point? Who? Teach them, find them and teach them. That's that. So that's bad etiquette, in my opinion, on the phone companies for wasting my time to leave a voicemail message that I'm probably just going to hang up anyway and then text the person.
Well, I was going to say, like, I've got terrible etiquette. Don't ever bother leaving me a voicemail message because I never listen to them. So if you ever get my voicemail, don't even bother. Just send me a text.
I agree. Like texting is so much more efficient. Like I hate it when I have to like listen to a voicemail. Like it's just like I have to stop everything, get in there and listen to it. Thank God they transcribe them now, so that makes it a little easier. Raphael says that Jen had a situational awareness fail. He quadruple checks mute and video off when he walks away in a conference call. Well, you're a pro, Raphael. Like, what can I say? Like, you're great. I mean, you're good at conference calls, but what about Jennifer? Like, maybe it's her first one. Like, I don't know. It was definitely a situational awareness fail, but I just don't think it deserved like being spread all over the internet.
Oh, wow.
But it's because people self-identify as Jennifer, obviously.
I self-identify. I just went to the bathroom in front of tree people last week, okay? They probably charged me extra for that abuse.
So do you have like
dear.
a ceiling to floor like window or something? I don't understand.
No, but they were on the tree, right? Because they have to
Oh,
they were
so
up
they had
high, like they were window level.
They had elevational awareness.
I mean, I could wave at them, Joe. I
I
was like, I
can't
didn't
believe
know if
we're
I
back
should.
having
Oh, should I
bathroom
wave-
conversations again. People.
should I have waved at them? I don't know. Like I wasn't sure. Like, should I wave and just be like, "Hey, okay, I'm I'm aware of
Make them
situation."
uncomfortable at that point.
I did the lowest squat I've ever done. Like, cause I squatted really low to.
All right. So
It always gets to this time of the episode, and I'm always just speechless.
And that says something for Sam to be speechless.
yeah.
Exactly.
It does.
All right. Well, I will. We're ending right on time. I'm gonna try to embarrass myself more this week. Sure, I will.
So so I think this, I think that I think we've set a pretty good pace for people that are listeners and viewers watching to challenge them to do more in the getting in front of people as much as they possibly can. While you were talking earlier, I went back to the Dominic's Facebook page, that pizza shop I was talking about in Byron earlier, and saw that like literally like every couple of hours they're putting up a Facebook post, like just something to like just put their name in front of people for the opportunity. So I think that it's really I think that's really great. And I also want to give a quick shout out to all of the restaurants that have been so quick to get commercials out, like watching CNN like almost around the clock. They have been so quick to like, did you know Red Lobster, you can get curbside delivery and like you don't even have to get out of your car? And I'm like, hey, I didn't know that, but would I in the case of where we are today? Probably not. But hey, I'm sure somebody has a bunch of disposable income that wants to spend it on seafood.
Sure.
So definitely I think that it's really great that these companies have figured out like contactless. I mean, I've seen it so far as like we will put the pizza down like out like just outside the car and you can walk over and pick it up, like or something to that effect, so you don't have to like touch us. And even one company saying that they would no longer take cash in the foreseeable future.
I've seen that. I've seen quite a bit of that.
Yeah. And or even like Best Buy, right? Best Buy, they sent an email like a couple days ago saying, hey, our stores are going to stay open. You can't come in, but if you order online, you can come and we will deliver it right out the front door for you. And people who want to stay home can stay home. People who want to continue to work can continue to work. So it's, I applaud those companies for figuring out ways to like make this work, even though in Jersey, all non-essential employees are supposed to stay home. Though I would argue that Best Buy has appliances. And if my refrigerator breaks tomorrow, one of these places better be open. Somebody better be open, whether it's Best Buy or, not Sears, but somebody better be open for me to be able to get one. So I'm not going to be able to Amazon that.
Well, before we go, I just want to read Raphael's comment. He says, in all seriousness, what setup are you using there? It looks great, and it's lots of fun to watch you three. I catch the replay because it's fun and professional.
Oh, thanks, Raphael.
Thank you, Raph.
And this is StreamYard. We're using StreamYard.
Yes, StreamYard is great. Enables you to do multiple outlets. We only just do the Facebook channel at this stage in times. It's easy to send everybody to one direct place. As far as setups go, do you want to just go around the horn with like headphones, mics, webcam?
Is that we could?
She doesn't even know. Okay, so I'll start it out. I got a C920 webcam, an ATR 2100 microphone, and I'm using the Sony's, I don't know what they are, 7506. They're like the legendary Sonys that everybody gets. You got some Tascams there. That's a good brand.
Yeah. Tascam headphones, ATR 2100 microphone.
Damn.
And I don't know my webcam is. I forget.
I have no idea on my webcam either, but also ATR 2100 mic. I don't have fancy headphones like you two. We're just bogan down here in Australia.
I always feel like Princess Leia with headphones on.
After an hour of wearing these, they're not they're not super comfortable. I'd rather have some in-ear ones or something, or maybe I'm gonna have to figure out for this live stream. It's gonna be like 8 hours long for 2 days in a row. I'm gonna have to figure out like some way of like switching between pairs of headphones just so I get different pressures on my head throughout the day. So I'll figure something out. But anyway,
you don't want head pressure.
No, I know.
Right.
I'm feeling it now with it. I don't know why it's so bad all of a sudden. Like I've been wearing these for a while. Raph says, StreamYard, gotta check it out. Awesome. But no onboard video cams. Okay, cool. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can use onboard video cameras. Like, some of them aren't total garbage town, but even if, I got to get my lighting right. Cause like, as you can see, like I don't know if you noticed, my camera has changed like every time I move forward and back, like the colors change. So I gotta work that out in this room. But anyway, I think we got to get out of here.
We got to
We
get
do.
out of
We
here.
got to get out of here.
I got to
We're
go
going
to
to turn
bed.
into a pumpkin.
Yes.
Time.
Thank you everyone so much for taking the time. Raph, Lou, Brent, Susan, Leon, thank you all so much for taking the time to spend your Wednesday night with us. It's always a
And can
blast.
I just say,
Isn't it Tuesday?
I think that Lou is our
it's
official
Tuesday.
hashtagger.
Yes,
I want to
he
give a
is.
shout out to Lou, our official hashtagger.
You can never not show up now, Lou, because what would we do without our hashtags?
I know we need those hashtags. They are super helpful for us. All right, everybody, go to businessgeekspodcast.com to subscribe if you're not already subscribed on Apple iTunes or wherever you're getting your podcasts at, and like us on Facebook, facebook.com/businessgeekspodcast. I hope everybody has an amazing week, and we will figure out what we have a topic for next week, but we'll figure out what our topic is for next week.
Yeah, hashtag be relevant. We don't know what's going to be happening next week.
Yeah, we'll see. We might be in total lockdown here. So anyway, have a great week. Be safe. I hope everybody has plenty of toilet paper at home. Take care.
Bye.